Hello, YouTube. This is M. Rain, your magical mystic, founder of the Magical Mystic Divinity Academy, the proprietor of the M. Rain brand of businesses, which also includes my TV show, Moments of Mindfulness, that airs on Fox in Louisiana. So, today I want to just go over 3 quick things that will affect, often do affect, your manifestations. Often when I'm on the road, like I am today, as you can tell, I'm in a hotel room. So, when I'm on the road, I find that when I'm meeting people, they all ask me the same question. How have you been able to manifest the life you desire and maintain it with no downtime? And so several things come to mind, okay? But one of the first things I want to talk about is mindset. You have to align your mindset with where you're going. So you have to not only deprogram where you've been. So if you've been in poverty, you have to release that mindset, but you also have to program and align with where you desire to be, which is to program and align with wealth. For instance, if you've been sick, you have to release the ideology of being sick, and you have to embrace this new ideology of healing, wholeness, and wellness, right? And you have to align your actions with the new mindset, and you have to disconnect from the actions that are aligned with the old one. Furthermore, you have to be consistent. A lot of people are not consistent. They do not stay with what works. They'll start a thing, they see some progress, they get excited, and they fall out of the habit. And habits by themselves are not good or bad. The habit is judged as good or bad based upon the way it affects you and your life. So if what you're doing on a day-to-day basis doesn't add to you, it's not evolving you, it's not ascending you, it's not teaching you anything, it's not enlightening you, whatever the case may be, it's not serving you, then that habit is useless and possibly even harmful, okay? If your habit, which includes like meditation, grounding, sealing your aura, doing your ritual work, honoring your ancestors, pouring libation, all of these different things. If that habit serves you, if that habit keeps you in peace, if that habit keeps you healthy, if that habit keeps you happy, if that habit keeps you wealthy, then why would you stop, right? People are not as consistent as they think they are, and they're not as consistent as they need to be based upon the built-in opposition in this world. When you are seeking to go into a space where you've never occupied, then there is built-in opposition, and thus you must be consistent, because the one day that you fall off, the opposition doesn't, okay? The resistance to what you're doing, that doesn't, okay? So that's the thing that's really important to remember. Now, the next thing and the last thing that I want to talk about is focus. Focus is a big one. Focus is not only knowing where you're going, but it is also understanding what is important based upon where you're going. So I know that I'm heading toward marriage. I'm engaged. I'll be getting married February the 11th of next year. So I'm very excited about that, 2022. And I know that my focus now has to be about the future husband and the little one that's on the way next year as well, coming in 2022. So I have to think more like a mother and a wife versus a mogul, a boss who's been doing her own thing with nobody else over her, beside her, telling her anything to do. I have to be able to make that shift. And so in making that shift, because that's as far as some people go, here's the other part of focus. In making that shift, certain things that used to be important lose importance. And I have to pull energy from that and put it into, you always had all the energy that you needed to get things moving in the right direction. The problem is it's stored somewhere. So at one point, my focus was my freedom and complete independence. Now that I'm doing the mother-wife thing, I have to move some energy, pull some energy from that. Not all of it, okay? Because I'm not going to lose myself to a child or a husband. That goes against everything that I believe in. But more of it has to be focused on the fact that I'm making room in my life for 2 new people in a short period of time. So with that being said, you have to learn how to focus on what's important. I have to now, my studies used to be one thing. Now I find myself going back, catching up on what it's like to have a baby. My son is 30, okay? What it's like to have a baby, what it's like to be married. I'm studying and following different people. I'm following married couples who are into mysticism. I'm listening to their messages. I'm reading those kind of newsletters because I don't want to just get married. I would like for it to be successful for as much as it depends on me. The same thing with taking care of a baby. There's so many recalls and so much stuff. I got books galore because now that's my focus. You know, just 3 months ago, I was reading a book about resonance and frequency. And, you know, this month I'm reading What to Expect When You're Expecting. So you move your, not only I know where I'm going, but you move your energy so that everything that you're doing aligns with where you say you're going. Because if the actions and the words don't align with where you say you're going, then it doesn't mean anything. Okay? The other thing about focus is this: it's easy for it to be broken, especially if you don't see the importance of maintaining it. When I was learning mysticism, I first got into studying the Orisha. Someone who I met during that time was like, no, let me put you up on something. I'm gonna put you up on Lukami, okay? And I was like, Lukami, oh, that sounds nice, you know. I put it down on the list. But I stayed with the Orisha during that time, okay, as it is taught in Ifa. So then I ran across Santeria, and I was like, okay, that goes on the list. But I'm still learning Ifa. I'm not going to try to learn all of these things at one time. I've had French classes. I ain't going to say I can speak much of it. I can sing a song in French, right? I've had years of Spanish. I can read it some, still have a hard time understanding it conversationally or speaking it conversationally because it's still not a part of my daily life, right? I didn't take those at the same time because that would have been useless, right? I can sing a song in Spanish. I know a couple of them, in fact. And one of these days, I want to learn some German, and I want to learn some Mandarin, and I want to learn, and you know what? There are all these things on my list, but it's one thing at a time because I have to keep my focus. If I let myself get drawn into every little new thing that calls for me, I'm going to get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble. So even something that could be good can be baneful or non-beneficial at the very least to you when you have a focus based upon your goals. You got to focus on rebuilding your credit and getting out of debt and all of this because your goal is financial freedom. With or without magic, you need to work on your credit. You need to work on your debt to income ratio. You need to create more income. So all of those things are important because you said my next focus is financial freedom. If you said your next focus was to get healthy, you got to focus on losing weight. You got to focus on detoxing your body. You got to keep your focus here. Yes, somebody else come over here and say, hey, blah, 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 this, and you could try that, and how about trying this? You could put it on the list, but I know for sure I got to change my eating patterns. I know for sure that I have to detox. I know for sure that, so you stick with what you know for sure. You master that first before you pull something else in. When you are constantly being pulled to and fro, and it may be all centered around the same thing, but you're not really focused. So these are things that are hallmark traits for the person who wants to manifest and be able to maintain their manifestations. In 2016, I was released from prison in May. And September, the end of September 2018, I had become a millionaire, okay? And that million I made between January 1st and September the 29th or whatever of 2018, okay? So I created $1 million in income within that year, and I have not dropped below that since then. And my income doubled and more every year since then, right? But that is because of a focus. So when people see the dynamic aspects of my life, they're moved by it, but they're not hearing the message. Anybody can do this. It's not boring. It's not too much because you create your lifestyle around it. When I get up, my first thought is my aura. Because I've done it for so long. So it's not like something I got to stop and do for 45 minutes. See, when you're first learning something, it feels like, oh, this is going to be heavy and this is going to be so much. Because I felt that way too. I'm not going to lie to you. But after you practice so long, it's second nature. It's no different than brushing your teeth. It's no different than combing your hair. It's no different than putting lotion on your body, putting deodorant under your armpits. It's no different than any of the things that we already do. Is worked into it. And many of the things that make you very powerful spiritually can be done while you're doing the mundane things that's necessary for you to live in a human body. And it's true. Guys, if you have not, I invite you to go by divinityacademy.com. I have a class there on candle magic. I have a class there on the basics of mysticism and a whole lot of different classes. I just released Sexual Prowess, a look at sex magic. We have a lot of different classes there. There's a soap making class by one of my graduates, Sonia Shed. There's freedom and autonomy classes by Tasha Matrez. You guys know her of Spirit Knows Best. There's kitchen witching classes by Bass DeLuna. There's wellness classes by Nashika Chandler. So there's a lot of different stuff. I'm not the only teacher, and I invite you to go by and invest in learning and building your life. Have a great day.